So whether you are an accounting student, whether you're looking to make a career change, maybe you're young in your career and you're just trying to figure out what kind of accounting career you want to have, this video, we're going to talk a bit about why tax might be the way for you, especially if you're considering going into public accounting. The two big ones that are always talked about that are going to be your biggest things is going to be audit and tax. Me, myself, I have more of an audit background, but in this video, we're going to talk about why, if I could do it all over again, I probably would have chosen tax for several reasons. So let's get started. My name is Ariel. I'm a certified public accountant in the state of Florida with several years of experience in both public accounting and industry experience. And I'm making these videos so that way we can, all learn together and share the love for those of you who are in the accounting world to make sure that you have all the information possible to determine how you want your career to go. So there are three main reasons why I think tax might be a lot better decision when you're deciding between tax and audit. So, for me personally, over the years, I often get asked by family and friends about taxes. Recently, at the time of recording this video, it's now April, so we're just wrapping up tax time. We're still in March, end of March, so we're still in tax time, but towards the end. And, I've had family members reach out to me asking me tax questions, just things about their taxes, trying to get through. And the thing is, as an auditor, I do not deal with taxes on a regular basis with my prior audit experience. It's not something, the only taxes I've ever done are my own. And so there's a common misconception in the accounting world that, all accountants do taxes. They all know about taxes, but that's just not true. And so I've had, family members who have reached out to me asking me tax questions. I've had friends who are in the business world who have, when they hear that I'm a CPA, they want to start to ask me questions. And a lot of the things that they need for like small businesses is more usually tax related, not so much on the audit side. And so where am I going with this story is it's the fact that, one of the top reasons why I think that tax is better than audit is if you want to be able to use your knowledge to help those closest to you, help your family, help your friends answer their questions. I think there's a lot of value in being able to become knowledgeable in a skill and then being able to take that skill and benefit those around you. And so really, tax has a great opportunity for you to have the knowledge necessary to help kind of more the everyday people. Now, don't get me wrong, the audit world, there's a lot of opportunity to help, but usually with audit, you're helping more businesses, larger businesses, like, you got public companies. You can have small organizations too. I guess I shouldn't just say just large businesses, but it's usually not so much like mom and pop shops, or just like young new entrepreneurs as much. As an auditor, you're typically auditing more established companies. And so a lot of the like financial knowledge, while it's valuable, isn't necessarily going to be valuable to the everyday people around you. So if you're looking to try to make the biggest impact on individuals in the world of accounting, if that's something that interests you as kind of being part of your job, then tax could be definitely, hands down, way more valuable than audit if you want to help your family and friends. Make sure, like, when you get asked all those tax questions, you'll know the answer to those. But, in reality, so it's a small thing, but I think that there's a large amount of value in that. Just having the more common knowledge that people expect you to have, that you actually have that knowledge, versus auditing, which is more of a separate specialization. So that's one reason why tax versus audit, tax wins every time, hands down, for being able to help the common folk around you. So number two is that one reason why it's great to go into tax is because you have the ability to learn really in depth about businesses and how they work. And so one way that that's the case now, audit, you do too, you work with businesses, but when you see it from a tax side, like, you get to see where the money goes. Like, you get to see how individuals are making money. You get to see, what kind of, like, what they do, how much they make, what they're spending their money on. It can be really fascinating. You get kind of an inside look about the financial world and what people are doing, both, and you can look at that in individuals, and you can look at that as businesses. And so you just get this really deep dive into business. So if you're someone who is interested in business, in business school and in my accounting program, something that I hear often comes up a lot when people talk about the importance of accounting is that accounting is the language of business. And so accounting is a great tool to have in your back pocket in general if you want to do anything business related. But if you're really just interested in business in general too, which is definitely a part of the reason why I went into accounting, it's a really great opportunity. And I just think that more so than audit, you get to see a little bit of kind of the everyday expense side of and income side that you may not get to see on the audit side, depending on what you do. Because on the audit side, you may, if you work for a bigger firm, you might be just seeing a very, very small piece of the pie. If you're working for a smaller firm, you might be seeing a more well-rounded picture of an overall business and some of its operations. But I just feel like, in the tax side, you get to see more of like the realistic day-to-day things. And so that's just my opinion. And again, this is just based on my observations from friends and colleagues who have worked in tax. And so, I'm sure that there is an argument for the audit side of this as well. But at least from what I've seen, this is kind of what I think is that really going into tax could be a great way to see inside businesses, and more so probably individuals, because you're not going to get that on the audit side. We're not auditing individuals unless you're, being an auditor with the IRS, which is not what I'm talking about here with audit, whereas I'm talking more about public accounting auditing. So anyway, so that's the second reason. And then the third reason to choose tax over audit, or just tax in general, in your accounting career, is because there's a lot of opportunities to specialize in different things. So I talked a little bit about individuals and businesses. So there's opportunities to focus in on individual tax returns. Small businesses, you can focus in on nonprofits. You can specialize in very, very specific things like estate planning. You can help out if you want to work you can work and do individuals taxes, like work as your own, like if you become a CPA, you can start up your own business doing like tax returns. You can work for like H&R Block, TurboTax, things like that. Work for the IRS. You can work for a public company, individual companies. Lots of large companies have a ton of opportunity to work in their tax departments as well, helping businesses with their taxes and to get tax breaks and different things. So there's just so many different opportunities and things that you can do with tax knowledge that's going to be very, very valuable to businesses. Especially if you want to go into industry, having an audit background can be great. In some ways, you get a really good understanding of financial statements and things. But at least, like if you want to go into a big company, a lot of companies really care about the tax side. So being a tax professional with a tax background just opens up a lot of doors. A lot of people just might assume tax is boring. But, there's just so many different ways that you can take tax. And so, that's another great reason why being a tax accountant can be a great deal. So like if I had to do it all over again, I've enjoyed my auditing career, but, being a tax accountant, being able to help people a little bit more and answer more questions on the day-to-day absolutely would be a game changer, and kind of feeling like I'm making a difference in individual lives versus just a company as a whole, and just the wide breadth of experiences there, and the opportunity to maybe see a little bit more into the money on individual side of things is why I think that being a tax accountant could be a significantly better option for you than an auditor. However, again, it's going to be unique to everyone, so just something to consider. But those are just some things to think about if you are considering a path in public accounting or just in accounting in general. So I hope this was helpful. Again, these are just some of my insights that I've had. Check out the other videos. Subscribe if you're interested in learning more about the career of accounting in general and looking for insights there that I'll hopefully be able to share to help you all out, if possible, based on my own experiences. Anyway, have a great day.